Well, I think that brings us to our next team. I think we can probably lump in, kind of Arizona State, Kansas State. These three teams are probably the next group of three that people seem to be looking at as potential dark horses in the Big 12 title race. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pivot us to Arizona first. Noah Fifita is coming back. Brett Brennan had an incredible rebound in year 2 last year. Arizona is another team in the Big 12. They've got good experience. They're 29th in Phil Steele's experience coming back. So good, not great. Like Houston and BYU, but Noah Fifita is potentially the player of the year in the conference. I think he is a stud and just really a difference maker for the Arizona Wildcats. I think Arizona and Arizona State are both going to be incredibly interesting this year. But Ryan, Max, any thoughts, predictions, anything on Arizona that you guys want to touch on quickly?
No, I look at what you talked about with Brent Brennan and even Seth Dogie, I think is how you pronounce it. But what they did, I mean, the offense went up 44 spots from 2024 to 2025. Noah Fifita coming back, redshirt senior, all Big 12, threw for 3,229 TDs. They've got Trey Spivey, which it just seems like the most incredible stat line to me. The guy caught 23 balls and had 7 touchdowns. Like the math on that just doesn't typically math. So I would be trying to get him 100 catches this year if I'm Seth. But I mean, honestly, I look at this group, like the front 7 has some real talent. Tay Brown, 8.5 tackles for loss last year, 93 tackles. And Danny Gonzalez is moving these guys around all the time, kind of a chess piece, confusion aspect. So I think Arizona, again, they're typical Big 12 in my book. And I say that in the sense of, listen, they're going to get tested early. BYU week 2, they're at BYU, and then they're kind of fluff of the schedule, and then they get tested late at Texas Tech on Halloween, Utah November 14th. So, if they find a way at BYU, we're probably talking about Arizona a hell of a lot more. But I mean, I think they take an L there, and then, they may be 5-6 wins by the time that Halloween game rolls around against Texas Tech. And it's another gut check for them. And they're going to have to win that one if they lose the BYU one. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Arizona is one of those teams that will certainly find out a lot more as the season goes on versus, especially if they lose that BYU game up front.
Yep. Ryan, anything on the Wildcats?
Not a whole lot. I do think Noah Fifita is a great bet for offensive player of the year or some props in the Big 12. I think he could have a huge year. I actually think that I might be a little ahead of myself, and I don't truly believe in this totally, but I could see him getting a little dark horse Heisman hype at some point in the season.
Ooh.
And then it fading when they have a disappointing loss. Because I don't fully buy. Yeah, it could be. I don't fully buy into Arizona. I don't fully buy into Fifita, but he is one of those guys where every time I watch him, he does a few things where I'm like, damn, that's that. He looks pretty fucking good there. So that would be my thing to add on Arizona, that I think Fifita might get a little dark horse Heisman action at some point during the season.
Yep, and I had a highlight in the Athlon Sports anonymous opposing Big 12 coach scouting report. I wanted to read a little excerpt from the opposing Big 12 coach who did a scouting report on Arizona for Athlon. He says, quarterback Noah Fifita is freaking electric. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. His off-schedule playmaking ability is unbelievable. When he gets flushed out of the pocket, the play begins. So that kind of quote gets me excited and gets me probably overinflated on a team in terms of what their true ceiling is. But, you get just a crazy playmaker like Noah Fifita in a crazy volatile league like the Big 12. Guys, I'm telling you, I kind of like I'm starting to get a little hot and heavy on Arizona as a flyer, as a dark horse pick. They've got potentially the best player in the league, and at the most important position, they got a good coach, and I like the Wildcats.
Listen, I like Noah Fifita too. I think the big thing with him is, like you mentioned, when he kind of gets flushed out, the off scheduled stuff, the arm angle. It's like he's got a little of that Cam Ward in him. Like if things aren't looking good in the pocket, just kind of pop out real quick, find somebody downfield, not afraid to throw across his body. So I think I'm with you on that. I think the Heisman talk is it. Listen, it's one of those flyer picks, right? We're kind of playing the long odds on that, I'm sure. But Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, I think, is pretty juicy, frankly, especially if they win at BYU week 2.
Yeah, and Casey being as positive on Arizona and just looking at 22-1 to win compared to plus 105 for Texas Tech and having what I think is clearly the better quarterback, I'm going to place a bet like that all day over just even money. I think that's insane.
Yeah, you look at Big 12, you're playing value all day, right? It is truly the anything can happen conference. I think that's 22-1, something like that, versus even money. I would put my money on Arizona before I did Texas Tech. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm right there with you.